Hello, my lovely warriors. Today, I would like to talk about narcissistic rage. What is narcissistic rage? What does that mean? What does it look like? Where does it come from? And how do you deal with it? My name is Amy, and this is NarcAWay. I make videos relating to everything narcissistic abuse, and our objective is to get away from it, to heal and recover, and ultimately survive and move on from narcissists, abusers, and all toxic people. I have an orchid in my shot today because it was in the office and I just thought it was so pretty. I wanted to include it in the video. So if you're wondering why there is an orchid beside my face, that is why. Let's enjoy its beauty. Okay, so let's just get right into the video today. No messing around. Narcissistic rage. If you've ever been with a narcissist, you've probably experienced it, and it can be ugly. And it takes on a lot of different forms. So let's just rewind it a little bit. Narcissistic rage actually comes from what we call a narcissistic injury. And a narcissistic injury is essentially any slight to the narcissist's ego. And this can be real or perceived, meaning that you may have not insulted or offended the narcissist in any way, but they have perceived it as such. And in my relationship, oh my God, this happened all the time. I became so very careful with my words and actions because I knew such a little thing that was never meant to be an insult would be thrown way out of proportion and taken as the biggest criticism by him in the world. And they don't like that. They cannot handle any sort of criticism, as we know. And so this creates a narcissistic injury. It can be an actual call out on them if you want to have a talk about the relationship and sit down and have a discussion about the things that aren't working in your relationship. They're not going to like that. So that before you even get to the conversation can cause an injury in the narcissist, and they will react to that. This is also the reason you'll see that a lot of narcissists refuse to have those conversations. It's very hard to sit down one-on-one and have an adult, mature, calm conversation about your relationship and about the things that aren't working in your relationship with a narcissist. They will usually pick a fight with you before you even get to that point, or they're going to deflect it, or they're going to turn it back on you, and all of a sudden you're going to find yourself defending yourself because they can't take any criticism, any slight to themselves, to their ego. So whether it is something real that's happened, perhaps they have done something wrong. Maybe they've done something as serious as actually cheating on you. Maybe they did something as minor as forgetting to pick up milk at the grocery store. But those two things, although on completely different ends of the spectrum of, going off the rails in a relationship, they can have the same consequence to you as far as the narcissist reacting. They could react in the exact same way to you accusing them or getting angry with them, or not even being angry. Like it can be really simple. Like you can just ask them, did you forget to pick up the milk, honey? And they will blow out into an all-out rage. So narcissistic rage is just what it sounds like. It's a rage. It's them blowing up, them getting angry and calling you names, yelling at you, raising their voice, If your narcissist is a violent type, they might throw things, throw cell phones, break laptops, punch holes in the wall. They could storm off, abandon you, leave you for, days at a time, just take off. Another form of narcissistic rage is the silent treatment. It doesn't sound like rage because you're not seeing somebody raging. You're not seeing the anger and hearing the loud volume and hearing the bad words. That's what you tend to think of when you think of rage. You don't think of rage as a silent treatment, but it is. When a narcissist does the opposite of everything I just described, when they shut down and they don't talk to you and they ignore you when you're talking to them, that's a silent rage. And that is just as powerful as a loud rage. There is absolutely no difference in the way that that affects you and the way that that makes you feel. It is scary to be ignored. It is uncomfortable. It hurts. It's very painful. And it is very hard to get through to somebody that's acting like that. And it's very childish. Both the loud rage and the quiet rage are both very, very childish behaviors. It's very akin to what you would see with a child having a temper tantrum. They're going to throw their toys, storm off, and then pout and sit in silence and not talk to you. And that's their way of punishing you. In both cases, whether that's a child that's behaving like that or it's a grown adult, man or woman, that is a punishment to you for setting them off. You have angered them, and now you must pay the price. The problem is you don't know what you've done most of the time. Or if you do know what you've done, it's unpredictable. Narcissists are very unpredictable and they change the rules. So one behavior might be okay one day and the next day it might not. So you could be joking around with your partner, calling him or her a pet name, and them laughing and you guys getting along and having a good time and having fun and being friendly towards one another. And then all of a sudden, the next day, that is not okay. And they're going to go off into a full-blown rage, and you're going to have to pay hell for calling them that name that was okay a couple of days ago. That's very confusing, and that's very hard to wrap your head around. How do you deal with those kinds of behaviors when they're unpredictable like that? And that's the essence of a narcissistic rage. They are unpredictable, they are unwarranted, and they are overblown. And the only way to deal with them is to not engage with it, to get away from it. You need to not entertain that. Again, like a child. You have to remember narcissists are very much like children. They act like children. They behave like children. And you have to treat them like children. You would not give in to the 5-year-old having a temper tantrum in the supermarket. So why are you going to give in to the 40-year-old having a temper tantrum in your own home? You don't, because it encourages them. It rewards them because they get off on seeing your reaction. Negative, positive, coddling, whatever it is, the only reaction is no reaction. Again, you go gray rock, or if you can, you go no contact, and eventually you get out and you just stop dealing with it altogether because it's no way to live. That is no way to live your life. You can go on and on and on, and when you start to see a pattern of somebody behaving like this regularly, you need to understand that that's exactly what it is. It's a pattern of them acting like that regularly. That means they're not going to stop. They are getting fulfillment from that, whatever it is. It's bizarre to you and I because we don't act in those ways, but to them it works just fine. So narcissistic rage is a narcissist, to summarize, blowing up either loudly or quietly from an injury in their mind, a perceived injury or a real injury, which is a slight to their ego. So I hope that sheds a little light on narcissistic rage. Thank you for watching. I just wanted to say thank you to all my subscribers. I love seeing the channel grow. It makes me so happy. It means that more people are learning about and understanding what narcissistic abuse is. They are educating themselves and they are working towards healing and getting better. So if you don't already, please subscribe and we will see you in the next video. I love you all.